Hello, class. I hope this Monday finds you well. Hope you had a great weekend. Had a chance to do a little work and engage in a little self-care. So just wanted to touch base with regard to what's happening this week. I know that your extended outlines are due. Looking forward to receiving those. Again, when I think about an extended outline, I do think about an outline, okay? So that's, Roman numeral A, B, C, D. But when I think about that, I think about, things like, possibly putting a theme. It might be, let's see, let's look at a couple of themes that I've written down. Okay, so one of the things that I've written down is like survival strategies, right? So that might be, Roman numeral 1. And then under that, might be A. And it might be, one of them was sort of the cotton balls, the residue, the heroin addicts would save and give to others. That's one survival technique. Or, another survival technique was simply, sort of the pseudo family, right? And the fact that, they lived together in encampments and provided protection for one another. So when I think about outlines, and I don't want you to think that I'm changing things, but this is something that I just sort of expected, but decided to expand on. This is an outline. It is not a paper, okay? So, your theme should be clear. Your sub-theme should be clear. And you might put a sub-theme, in bold or underline it and then explain it. And then another sub-theme, bold, underline, explain it. I just want to be clear that I'm not adding to the assignment, but the expectation is that you turn in an extended outline and that it be in outline form, okay? Some of the themes that I've noticed, and sort of looking through the text again, we really have to remember that we're looking at, this class is about the lifespan, right? And so, the text looks at childhood violence. It looks at family strife. It reflects back on both of those via a trauma lens. So when you're looking at this, one of the things that I want you to remember that's important are sort of the objectives and the themes for each week. Sometimes I find myself, I'm struggling. I don't know what to write about. Well, oftentimes I'll go back to chapter outlines to look at that particular information. So if we were to go back to the chapter objectives for today or for this week, some of them are to delineate how attachment factors in the development of human personality. So, could possibly attachment, be an issue with some of these characters. And I don't want to say characters because this is really a photo ethnography, so it's based on real individuals. So these individuals, these worthy poor, how did attachment play a role in that? Analyze obstacles to interventions with adults who suffer deprivation of attachment as infants. And we know that childhood trauma is a piece here. So I guess what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen, again, in addition to sort of making sure that what you're writing is grounded in the book and that your readings are sort of represented here and there, and you can't do every reading and you can't do everything. But I would also go back and look at the objectives of the first 3 or 4 chapters and, look at the content and what you're expected to learn, because ultimately Righteous Dope Fiend is sort of a case study for you to be able to apply that. So if I go back to say to week 1, identify and explain key developmental tasks. Are there possible developmental tasks that were clearly outlined in the book that the individuals miss that could be a part of what you're looking at? Describe threats to healthy human development, including poverty and trauma. So I hope what I'm saying, again, is not new. I'm not trying to add to it, but I do want to make sure that you have an outline. It's in outline form, okay? Secondly, I want you to make sure that you're not just writing words in your outline, but, if you're going to talk about trauma, what kind of trauma? If you're going to talk about law enforcement, what about law enforcement? If you're going to talk about survival strategies, what survival strategies? You have an opportunity to put a couple of lines with each sub-theme that you have under a major theme, okay? So I hope that that's helpful. You know, some of the things that were important to me as I was reading through the text again, just trying to remember that it's a photo ethnography. And I think that's really important for your presentations. To what degree will your presentations pull in, you know, the very telling aspects of this photo ethnography? To what degree might your presentation explain what an ethnography is and how this ethnography was conducted? I don't know. Other themes, survival strategies, and there were several, you know, from the cotton balls to the burglary to the panhandling to the day labor, you know, several of those. They also talked about childhood. They talked about affairs. They talked about conflicts. They talked about alliances. All right, in one of my classes right now, one of our classes, and we're working on ethnographies where we look at conflict, alliances, and relationships. Now, through the lens, right, you have an opportunity to meet parents, grandparents, children, grandchildren. How are you going to weave them into this? Because Righteous Dope Fiend is told in a chronological way, but it's told in a chronological way via major themes. And so, you know, one of the things that I think is important at this juncture, because at this juncture you're probably done with your outline, right? Or you're going to go back and say, well, he wants an outline, not a paper. But now is the opportunity to really hone down on how you intend to communicate what's important to you and how it relates to your larger presentation. And I guess the thing that I'm going to say in closing is that I do invite each group to, you know, share with me any information that they like on their presentation. And so what I would like to do is set up by Sunday, if you would like to, you know, just a member of your group, the group can do it as a whole. I'm not looking for something formal. But if you just want to have, say, a member of your group do audio or video for me that sort of outlines your presentation, shares with me the larger presentation of the group, I'm happy to take a listen to it or take a look at it and then reply with video or audio. Whatever you send to me, I'll send it back to you in the same form. And the reason that I do it this way, ladies and gentlemen, is really I believe that through audio and video, we have a better opportunity to express ourselves, the nuances. Sometimes I think when we're sitting down typing, we're so worried about spelling and grammar and the way that it looks that we really don't communicate the full feeling of what we're trying to do. So by Sunday night, your group can an individual can send the video, they can send an audio. If you can't send the full file, you can send the link. I promise that I'll turn it around relatively quickly with any thoughts. And again, I hope that this clarity is helpful. Again, I don't intend to add anything, but sort of as I go along and I get questions and I reply and I think through, I just want to make sure that we're on the same page. So I hope you're having a great Monday, and I really do hope you have a super week. It's a beautiful day, this first day in November. We're almost halfway there. This will be the end of the third week. So keep working hard, and if I can help in any way, don't hesitate to call on me. All right, take care. Bye-bye.